Hi everyone, welcome back. Now we are going to start with the session 6 of our MLOps basics. Currently we are on the week 3 where we were discussing about the configurations and mainly configurations using the Hydra. In the earlier part we saw how the basic configuration is, how we can load those basic configurations and make things scalable across different models with the same code. Now, in this particular section, we will delve much more deeper into the configuration files that we have. And the first thing that we are going to look towards is splitting these configurations across multiple files. For example, if I want to load my configuration from different files, how do I split and how do I trace back on those things? So one of the things, maybe for now, let's have this the zoomed out picture in mind, in which we have the configs folder that contains config.yaml. Then we have the model folder, which contains the default YAML. And the model default YAML just looks like the name, the model that we have, and the tokenizer that we have. And then let's modify the config.yaml as defaults and model is default. And now let's understand what's happening here is in this particularly what I am mentioning is in the model you put the default thing. So what we have done here is we have created a separate folder called model and then created a file called default.yaml here and then shifted all the model specific parameters to that particular file. Now we have created a key called defaults and in this in the config and this is a reserved keyword in Hydra and then defaults here list an item and that item we have a model and that for model we are taking the default like the default.yaml. Here we are and if you understand here we are saying that Hydra that refers to the model specific parameters in model default.yaml file and the accessing remains this way to same like model name equals to config.model.name config.model.name. So corresponding folder structure, as we understood, looks like this. For example, if you want to do defaults database equals to Postgres, and then we have this thing, right? So in the sense of like, if you want to specify the different databases, the different models that we have, so just in the configuration, you change at one particular place, and you can load the configuration of that particular database, the models, or that thing. So now try to picture this thing is how you can scale these things when we have multiple models multiple backend systems. This is a how we can just tweak one or two parameters and we are just pulling off different configs we are using on different models. And then let's create a processing specific folder and training specific folder. In this particularly it's so easy and then in default you just mention model default, processing default, training default. Now variable interpretation. Sometimes variables can also depend on other variables. For example, which layer to use may depend on kind of interest. And as a simple example, let's say limit val batches variables values as the same as a limit training batches. This file training default. So here I have mentioned that limit val batches. This value is I am taking it for from the training limit train batches. And if we print this thing like a omega to YAML config, here we will see when you load and print the complete config, the value will be printed as this thing. In order to overcome this, let's pass resolve equals to true and we can see what's exactly the number there. And there is one thing like we can color code the logs and all that. So I won't go much thing into those things. You can learn you can read that thing and learn through that thing because I think like it's maybe not exactly too much important, however it's a thing that you should know. And now for example if we want to run the model with different parameter combinations, what we will do is for example if I have application and if I want to run it again and again with different multiple configurations, I'll do a multi-run. In this multi-run, I'll tell about maximum. For example, if you can see the example, if I want to run epoch with one epoch with two epoch, I'll just mention training in max epoch parameter in the training, you just one set is it one set it two. So it will run for max epoch equals to in one time and then max epoch two times. If the parameters are spread upon different folders, then all combinations you can take at one by using this particular parameter. And similarly, like total of 6 jobs will be launched in which max epoch 1 2 processing batch size 32 64 128. So I hope like you are able to understand the configurations and you are able to understand how important the configurations are in when we are working on machine learning models in production at scale. It just makes your life very easy. So whenever next time you're writing your code, just try to make it more reproducible, more scalable. And in case if you have any doubts or feedback about this session, please do let me know in comments. Let's see in the next session. Thank you.